Is there any aspect of your cultural heritage that you've tried to run away from, to bury, to hide? Did you discover years later that it was so deeply etched into your cultural DNA that what you once had despised had become the essence of the beauty of you? Well, that's my story. I am Gullah Geechee, and I'm proud to acknowledge it. But that was not always the case. Gullah Geechee culture exists all around you as you walk about, dine, and sightsee throughout Charleston. Now, that's how Gullah Geechee speakers pronounce the word, Charleston, not Charleston. Mine is a living culture, not one of some 200 years ago. It's a culture that continues to shape our surroundings. Why then did I try to flee from it? When I traveled from home in nearby St. Helena Island, South Carolina, to attend Hampton University in Virginia, I did not think that I spoke that way, or that I exemplified any cultural vestiges that would identify me as a simple-minded, uneducated, bad-talking Geechee. No, at that time I proudly affirmed myself as a Sea Islander. Something unexpected, however, happened during my second day of college. I had cordially greeted my mass media arts department chairman as I approached him for my freshman interview, and his response startled me. I remember him staring at me quizzically before he said, "Now, there's something about your speech. You're from one of those islands, aren't you? Those sea islands in South Carolina?" Well, his lips had said sea islands, but in my mind, his looks had screamed, he's a Geechee. Back at home, I'd always been told that I spoke much better than those who spoke what was called bad English or broken English. I did not, I'd reasoned, yet although my subjects and verbs had agreed in number as I spoke to him, and my elocution and vocabulary apparently were impressive, somehow the intonation, the musicality of my speech had identified me as different, had made me stand out. That still happens, and quizzical looks and questions usually follow. Today, my language is but one aspect of my culture that I've grown to appreciate. And why? Everybody can talk like this, yeah? Then turn around and speak like this. I've learned that Gullah Geechee as a speechway is not a dialect. It's a language with its own set of grammatical rules. One of them is that whenever words are pronounced that begin with a TH, the TH is substituted with a D, as in this or that, for this or that. No, it is not Ebonics. Although I practice speaking English and I encourage Gullah Geechee speakers and others to speak and write English as effectively as possible, I am quick to inform Gullah Geechee speakers that ours is not always a language reflecting low intelligence. No, it includes words and expressions from numerous West African languages. It is a carryover of West African heritage, and it is closely related to the speechways of other cultures of the African diaspora. If I were to say bobo when in Ghana or Sierra Leone, listeners most probably would know that I am talking about a boy. And if I were to say decline or kura to Jamaicans, many would readily know that I am referring to dawn or early morning and a turtle. Kura done cross the road, come decline, translates to a turtle crossed the highway at dawn. I've grown to appreciate the intonations of my speech. I've found that if I communicate in English or Gullah Geechee, speaking with truth and confidence, others will listen. Music is but another aspect of my heritage that I've grown to own and not disown. As a child, I learned to sing with confidence by leading spirituals. You know, those songs of the enslaved, those songs that some regrettably believe should be maintained in the distant past. As I would lead those spirituals, the voices of other singers would roll in and out like waves on a beach, while hands clapped rhythmically and feet pounded onto wooden floors. Leading spirituals as a child is not an easy feat to accomplish. The lead singer must maintain the course and not be made to drift aimlessly away. I remember the value of this life lesson as I chair board meetings, converse with family members and friends, and even as I manage office workers. By allowing others to contribute, by altering the dynamics of discussion whenever the tempo quickens or relaxes, I then can enjoy the beauty of the harmonies that surround and envelop me. I'm told that when slave trader turned hymnist and abolitionist John Newton wrote the words to the hymn Amazing Grace, he was inspired by listening to the moans and groans of enslaved Africans huddled at the bottoms of slave ships. Many of his voyages were from the rice coast country of Sierra Leone, West Africa, en route to where? Charleston, South Carolina, bearing the ancestors of Gullah Geechee people. On plantation communities in the Carolina and Georgia colonies where they were brought during the 17 and 1800s, they would sing hymns that they were taught and spirituals that they created to a polyrhythmic tempo that harkened back to West Africa. That rhythm expressed the joy of being able to sow sweetgrass baskets as you see before you, combining marsh grass and other natural products, and using skills and techniques that had been passed down solely through collective cultural memory. That rhythm expressed the awareness of the importance of respecting one's elders and following other traditional beliefs, and also the ability to cook flavorful rice dishes that use fush, that's fish, swips, that's shrimp, and vegetables, that's vegetables. Because it's the truth now, Gullah Geechee people can eat a rice dish not just once, not just twice, but sometimes 3 times a day. And our music has a peculiar 1, 2, 3 beat that sometimes quickens and slows down even as a single song is sung. Join me. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once been lost, but now I've done been found. I've been blind, but now I see. Like the words of the song, I am so glad that now I see. I now embrace my Gullah Geechee heritage and no longer flee from it, That melody line called common meter or shape note harmony was sung in the praise houses, small one-room buildings of worship on plantation communities. The tempo of the music sung there was as rhythmic as the second language I speak. The singers, forming a community of voices, would hold each other up with each note that they sang, shedding the difficulties, sorrows, and tragedies of life that they had endured. Our music empowered us, and it continues to do so today. In 2004, in 2005, when I traveled to Sierra Leone and Ghana, West Africa, those songs from my childhood, the songs of my ancestors, floated into my consciousness, inspiring me to write about my experiences, seeing and hearing firsthand connections with my culture by using new words to those old tunes. The up-tempo melody that I sang to Amazing Grace is different from the more familiar tune of the well-known hymn, but each melody line is meaningful. Wouldn't you agree? My culture, too, is different from other cultures in Charleston and throughout America, but it is meaningful and significant. That's what I mean when I say Gullah Geechee mean a lot. The layers of my culture, language, music, beliefs, crafts, foodways are more closely aligned with West African heritage than the cultures of any other African American population. And my culture, Gullah Geechee culture, shaped Charleston culture, which was the footprint of the Carolina colony. In so doing, it impacted the American cultural fabric. So what's the importance of this message? The rhythm effect? Our lives are shaped by many things, and understanding the influence of culture is powerful. So re-examine an aspect of your own cultural heritage, one that you've tried to run away from, to bury, to hide. You may discover that it is so deeply etched into your cultural DNA that what you despised has become the essence of the beauty of you. With that self-discovery, allow that essence to impact your own life and that of your family members, as I found to be true with my own 2 children. And then after that, you will enrich the lives of those around you, giving testimony that your life, your culture should not be regarded as invisible. No, they mean a lot. Each is meaningful. Each is significant. I thank Hannah for hearing what me have to say, and now me done.